It was somewhat ironic too that when I was fighting for Redress, the Canadians were doing the same thing. So the Japanese Canadians up in Canada asked me to give a presentation on our progress up in Vancouver one time. And so I went up there and laid out what we were doing and what we were shooting for. You know, the Canadians, the Japanese Canadians, in a way suffered more than the Japanese Americans here in the United States. Those guys were uprooted from Vancouver area and the coast area and shoved out towards the Rockies beyond a place called Hope, Canada. Isn't that ironic, Hope, Canada? And they were thrown in abandoned mines and places like that, and they were told to survive. And, you know, that's a different story, but, you know, the Japanese Canadians really suffered too. But while I was making my presentation there was this guy, Japanese Canadian, that said, "Gee whiz, why don't we ask for money for a monument?" Then I had to explain to him, "You guys, if you guys want to build a monument, you guys should get your individual redress and then convince the people, let's build a monument," or stuff like that. But I told him it's the individual that got screwed, and it's the individual that should get compensated, and it's the individual that should decide what to do with his or her compensation. Because, you know, every time I talk to a classroom of people of my experience in camp, I say to myself and I say to them that my story is only one of 120,000. Each of us have an individual story, an individual tale to tell, because each of us had their own experience of how he or she felt felt when they went through camp, and the experiences that they went through camp. So every time I make a presentation about our incarceration, I tell them that, boy, if you meet an individual Japanese American who was in camp, listen to his or her story, because his or her story is unique. And so is mine. And so, you know, there's 120,000 stories out there. Sad to say there's probably only about half left. But, you know, each one of us, each one of them have a different story to tell.